Good morning, everybody. It's sunny in San Francisco, and we have a 2-year budget. Let's have fun. I think maybe members of the board and other elected officials, but particularly the board, I think we're getting more and more used to calmness around our budget. And I really want to signal again my appreciation for the work and the hard work that it takes to have a unanimous vote at the board for passing the next 2-year budget, which is very healthy. It's certainly a balanced budget. I'm proud of it. But how we got there was a reflection of a lot of good hard work and a lot of people to thank. Want to take this opportunity to thank the budget staff. They have been working really hard, and Kate Howard and Steve Kava, thank you very much for your leadership. And the entire budget staff is here. They continue to be labeled the fiscal geniuses of the city. They work, of course, very closely with our controller. And Ben Rosenfield, your staff have been extremely supportive and helpful. Thank you very much. And then, of course, our supervisors, the entire board, and their budget analysts. Harvey, thank you again for working with us, and the entire board. I want to thank each and every one of you because you, along with, of course, all of our great department heads, but in particular, we continue to promise that when we bring this budget forward each year, we have that conversation, sometimes difficult, sometimes emotional, but always in support of our neighborhoods. And so when we come to each of the districts, each of you have been wonderful hosts. You've taken up that great responsibility to help all of us describe this budget, because sometimes it's very hard to understand when people are just simply saying, I need to live in this city. I need to survive. I need to get a job. I need to have a safe neighborhood. I need to pay attention to the parks. I need to deal with all the things that perhaps the city doesn't provide. We need to pay attention to that. All those conversations have had, each district has had a good opportunity to engage with our budget. So I want to thank each of the supervisors for providing that kind of atmosphere where the budget could be discussed. In particular, this year, for his first time, Supervisor Farrell led as the budget chair. I want to thank in particular his services for being there and having so many extra meetings on top of the ones he's had to find the consensus building that we needed. And then for he and Supervisor Eric Marr, Supervisor John Avalos, Supervisor London Breed, and Supervisor Scott Wiener, all of them being great participants in the budget committee. Thanking you as a group, as part of the whole board. Appreciate that very much. And again, I signaled at the beginning I was expecting cooperation from Mr. Rose. We got it. And thank you very much for that cooperation. This budget is not only balanced, but it is a responsible budget. It is a fiscally responsible budget, one that we've learned over many years. And when you look at other cities across the country who have not paid that kind of attention in their fiscal responsibilities, you'll see some of the results that are horrible results to the rest of the country. And so we hope to continue being a model of how a balanced budget should have, and fiscal prudence is always at a key cornerstone of it. We have the right attitude about our reserves and what we invest in. But this also is a budget about social responsibility and working with the board. And I know Supervisor Chu is in absentia right now with another matter, but I want to thank him and his leadership as well. Socially responsible budget also means that we engage our community leaders. We engage how we do services. We understand from the work of the departments that they can't do it alone. And so we look at all of our partners and have a budget that reflects the level of social responsibility that we'll carry out, whether it's in the health area, in the homeless advocacy area, in the mental health area, all of the different needs. We have an opportunity, and I want to thank the community-based organization for being such effective leaders in our communities, because without them, we wouldn't, I think, accomplish the social responsibility that we're all wanting to be of. So thank you, CBOs and community leaders, for your participation. Finally, this is also a budget that is about investment. It invests in our neighborhoods, it invests in our infrastructure, and in the broad way, it invests in our city's future. And that future is incredibly important to the people who are standing right in front of me, the young folks, because we've always said that our budget should reflect the values of the city. Well, we're putting a lot of value in our youth, so we have to invest in them. We have to invest in infrastructure that will last a long, long time. And we'll have to invest in technology and all the future that we have. So this is a very forward-looking budget. It's a very expensive one, but it's a very forward-looking one. And so when we look at the classes that we'll create, whether it's our police or fire or sheriff's department or all the other public safety departments that are challenged with heavy levels of retirement, or we're investing in departments' programs, or we're investing in education, like $105 million in our public school systems in the next 2 years. People know what investment does. So all of this, if you're a budget studier, you'll know that I'm speaking the absolute truth, that this is fiscally responsible, it's socially responsible, and it's great investment. And with that, I really want to, again, give a great thanks to all the departments that work hard, the people that work in capital planning, all the fiscal officers for each department that comes to come in to complement the arguments that the department heads make. I value that because I often leaned on my fiscal entities in my departments that I served to be the thought provoker for me to make sure that I was able to look around the corner and anticipate costs. And so when we are now doing 2-year budgets, we have to do a lot better anticipation. We have to have better tools to do that. That's why we lean on our controller and the auditors to give us a good look, on capital planners to give us good looks. 5-year financial planning is no longer an exception. It is the norm. 10-year capital planning is now the norm. And we hope to breed that kind of fiscal approach to agencies that we don't fully control, but I know they appreciate it, whether it's a school district, the housing authority, city college, or all the other partners that we value, that they need to be a great part of this fiscal approach. Then we can say to cities like Detroit and others, we've got the answer, that you don't have to do what you did in the past or don't fall into the traps, that we have the answer here in San Francisco, and that will continue to be a consensus-building approach, taking care of our responsibilities. With that, I'd like to give the podium for a while to this year's chair of our budget committee, and of course is Mark Farrell. Thank you, Mark.
Well, thank you to Mayor Lee for his great leadership during this process. You know, after months of debate in City Hall, after 6 town halls in our different neighborhoods, after an online town hall, I think what I'm most proud of today is that we're signing a budget that is not only representative of the mayor and his team and the Board of Supervisors, but as we stated from the beginning, we wanted a budget that reflected the values of San Francisco, of all San Francisco, and I think we've achieved that today. I want to take a quick moment to thank all those involved, starting off with my colleagues on the Board of Supervisors. To everyone, I think we had all 11 members there the night we signed our budget, late into the night. I want to in particular thank my Budget and Finance Committee members as well that we serve together, and single out in particular John Avalos, Supervisor Avalos, for your leadership in this year's budget. Supervisor Avalos. It was really a great partnership working together. And I also want to thank so many people, but to quickly highlight what Mayor Lee mentioned and the people he mentioned, it's hard to, you cannot overestimate how important so many people are in City Hall to getting this budget done. It's a $7.9 billion budget. It's incredibly important, and it matters to the residents of San Francisco. And a few people in particular, first of all, to Kate Howard, the mayor's budget director. Kate and her incredible team as well. Every single person on Kate's team. For those of you who don't know, they spend countless hours here in City Hall. Late nights, early mornings, hopefully no all-nighters in particular, but without them, we wouldn't be here today. To Ben Rosenfield, Monique Zamuda, and the entire Controller's Office team, thank you so much. Kate and Ben were really partners in crime in getting this budget done and with us every step of the way, and such an integral part of what we do. To Harvey Rose and his entire team, thank you, Mr. Rose, for all of your efforts. To Severin and Deborah, to Fred and your entire team, thank you for making all the funds available so we could redistribute them as the board. And also, not mentioned earlier, to our city attorney's office. John Givner, our board city attorney, and to his entire team, thank you all. To our city attorney's office. And certainly everyone else, from Steve Cava on down, the entire mayor's staff that made this budget happen. Thank you so much. And I want to give a special shout out to someone that I continue to learn from on a daily basis, but our former budget chair just last year, our assessor recorder, Carmen Chu. And last but not least, the people that I think at the end of the day were critical and you could argue the most important, I want to thank the staffs of all of the Board of Supervisors members, in particular my staff, Catherine Stephanie is here, who was on budget with me the whole year. Thank you, Catherine. To Margot and to Jess on my staff as well, but again, to every single legislative aide, to all of the Board of Supervisor members, we can't do it without you, and you play such an integral role, so thank you all so much for all of your support this year. With that, I want to thank everyone for being here. I want to thank Mayor Lee for his incredible leadership, not only on the budget, but everything he does here in City Hall, and let's get this thing signed. Thank you.
Somebody's check is in here, right? Today is...
Good question.
24.
All right.